Help support this channel and get early access to videos plus exclusive content and patrons-only live discussions by becoming a member at patreon.com/Bruce Poinsette.
I have Mr. We Out Here magazine here.
Oh, I do that. I do that.
Thesis, co-founder of the Thesis.
That's tonight.
So Complex recently put out a list of its hip-hop media power rankings.
I'm not on it.
That is the most Portland response.
I'm such a loser. I checked what? Yeah, like what if I'm on here? No, it's not close, bro.
But yeah, so they're top 25, most influential players in hip hop media, and this list is a doozy. So I kind of just want to go around the room with things that stuck out to you. But I'm gonna start because it is the Poinsette show, the world's most dangerous infomercial. And there's a name that's not on here, but
Max Smiff.
This guy. There's a name on here. When I see this list and I see how it's formatted, I see who's up at number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and I'm like, this is the house this person built. Anyone want? Ado, you can't because I told you earlier. Mac, you want to take a guess?
I don't know.
Wendy Williams. You can't tell me when you look at this list,
that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
But I'm just saying, think about Wendy Williams, late 90s, early 2000s influence on hip hop media.
But it's not about back then. The list is about now. Who's got the influence today?
I'm not talking.
Wendy Williams is a cartoon character.
I'm not saying she shouldn't be on this list in 2023. What I'm saying, when you see Joe Budden, Academics, Charlemagne the God, who is part of the Wendy Williams tree, as the top 3, I read this list and I say, this is the house Wendy Williams built, because it's the same family tree of coverage.
That's respectful. But if I was doing a top 10 to 25 most influential players in the league, I'm not going to list a Jerry West.
Again, I'm not saying, to be clear, I'm not saying Wendy Williams should be on this list.
Her influence is there, though.
Yeah, like when I read this, when I go further down with Gillian Wallow, when I see what Nori's doing today.
But the people on the list from her tree are pretty much all horrible people.
I mean, Wendy Williams was not exactly, I shouldn't say was because she's still alive.
She's still with us.
She's not exactly, her reputation is not exactly as a great person.
She's a meme, bro. She's literally a meme. And like a joke waiting to happen all the time. I feel like the list had people on it that I feel like I can respect for the most part, as far as their contributions to hip hop media, because really that's what it's about.
Right.
I don't know about the order of any of the list. I felt like Mr. Wilson should have been a lot higher, and it's not just because he follows me on Twitter, but I feel like in general he's just been like a real OG in the game that's continued to keep it moving and push the conversations. He had all of Twitter talking about if Future was the best rapper or not a couple of years ago. I mean, that's huge. You know what I mean? Like, to get guys like that and to really have these. I mean, he's interviewed Hove. He's interviewed Drake. He's interviewed Biggie. You know what I mean? He gave a rated I of 5 mics when it came out, not later. His history with The Source and with all those different things that he's done over the years. His connection at Tidal, which is a huge influencer of hip hop. I feel like having him like below Joe Budden and Charlemagne is kind of funny to me. But I can also see that like
that's all over the list though.
At those guys like Rock the Boat. Academics being number 2 is wild. He rocks the boat though. Does he do anything for the culture? I don't think positively.
Absolutely not.
He's hurtful to the culture really more than anything else. He's getting people killed out here darn near. So I'm like, but that is the thing, though. If people are dying because you're covering nonsense, maybe you are influential. But, there's guys that have just as much influence on what people are listening to that don't get people killed. And I feel like...
Facts.
But also it's Complex. Who runs Complex?
Yeah, if we're talking, again,
it's not
influence.
One of us.
Unfortunately, influence isn't positive or negative. It's like
it's just influence.
What people are following and what's dictating the conversation.
The real conversation is why does Complex have so much influence in the conversation?
Little vocabulary. Difference between black-owned media and black-targeted media. Complex is black-targeted media.
Facts.
Very much so.
Facts.
I some reason, like I assume people know that, but people really don't know that.
It's like the Adam 22 dude or whatever his name is. People were like, "Oh, he's racist." I'm like, "Bro, he's been racist, bro."
He is,
but he's on the list, right?
Yeah,
Yes, he
Adam
is.
22. Mr. No. Fun fact. I first learned about No Jumper from a kid at LO High like several years ago.
Like Oswego, shout out.
So I feel like that's fitting. I actually think the story of No Jumper is semi-interesting. The fact that it started out as, at least by Adam 22's admission in interviews, like, I'm trying to create content for virtually unknown artists. Now, the content he was creating was, low budget TMZ shit. But in theory, as far as like getting names out of, again, people who are relatively unknown nationally, there is some truth to that. Now, of course, what did it morph into? He's doing
Lil
interviews
Pump.
with Richard Spencer right
Listen,
now.
It created Lil Pump.
Jeez. At the end of the day, I feel like in all aspects of hip hop, whether you want to be a rapper or a journalist or whatever, at some point, not Black people decided that hip hop is the lowest bar of entry for a whatever related profession they wanted to be a part of. Whether you shoot music videos, whether you're just an influencer, a wannabe, or a blogger, I mean, whatever. And I don't have any issue with the Black people that take that route because that's ours. But I definitely feel weird when these not Black people, and I'm going to say straight up, mainly white folks and Asians, they jump on this bandwagon of I'm doing hip hop and I want to create a hip hop. I want to be part of the underground. And they amass this following that they do by having a Black targeted media. And then when they get the following and the fans, they just revert back to whatever they really wanted to do. And it's so pervasive in our culture. And it literally happens in every aspect of what we do, from singers to people that rap that don't rap no more. People point out Lil Yachty, but I can give you 50 white examples that are far more. Yep. I don't know what Iggy Azalea is doing these days, but I bet she's not rapping.
She ain't
Hugging
rapping.
Jalen Brunson at Knicks games.
Right.
Go Knicks.
Right. Go Knicks. But you know what I'm saying though? It's like literally like these people see our culture. They say there's a low bar for entry. I can start in the underground. I'm literally, that guy down here because I have resources where that no one else has. I get people all the time. Hey, I'm trying to come through this and be a part of this. Can I work with y'all? I don't have no budget. Yes, you do. You got budget and your uncle got budget and your daddy got budget and your mama got budget. You live in Lake Oswego, you got hella budget. But you want to come out here to these free things and do all this free stuff with all these Black people and use our labor and then just bubble up with all your resources that you hid from all of us the whole time. And I feel like Adam 22 he's just a reincarnation of that exact same thing that they always do.
I would agree.
The Fox strategy.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, in the 90s, specifically off the back of In Living Color, but like Fox on Black entertainment builds up, the brand builds up its legitimacy in the media, is able to flip that to get these big, NFL live sports contracts, is able to then take some of that money, put it into funding, among other things, Fox News.
And people say, so what? Why do you care? That person just used that area and left. But it's not the case. They don't just leave. They actually gatekeep in our culture. So what you get is you get these people who not only get a following and a celebrity and money off of our culture, but they also then turn around and gatekeep who's allowed in our culture. They don't gatekeep any white people. They gatekeep all the Black people. Oh, he's not cool no more. That's why on hip hop media that you see, on Black targeted media that you see, it's always Black folks getting in trouble. It's always Black folks causing problems. It's always Black folks getting accused of this, that, and the other. That don't happen to white people. Because A, in Black targeted media, nobody would care. And B, in white targeted media, they're not going to say it until it's proven it's a fact, right? So that's just what it is. You look at Complex, you look at Adam 22, you look at all these different places that do this. This is what they do. And then they tell us who's in charge of our culture. For them to tell me that Joe Budden is the most influential person in hip hop. No shade to Joe, right? He has enough problems, but like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to tear him down right now, but like, you could have chosen someone that would be beneficial for our scene when black men are dying at some of the highest rates we ever have. You know what I mean? Across this country. And there's problems outside, you know, from each other and everything else. Inside, outside, we're dealing with it on both sides. And they're just sitting here like, oh, look at black people acting a coon. That's what they really want to show us. And that's because it's not by us. It's just sent to us.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
Mm. So we're definitely clipping that part.
Definitely saved.
Ado, you mentioned a person on here at, you know, going through it, because I know most of these names, even if I don't watch them.
Mm-hmm.
But at number 6, this guy
Kai
Cenat. Never heard of him before, but you were really excited.
Too high or too low
about that?
Shouldn't be on the list.
Oh,
I don't think he deserves to be on the list in the sense of like, so I don't have an issue with the sense that like he is a Twitch streamer or that he has like ties to hip hop artists. Like he'll hang out with hip hop artists, be with them. But like when we're talking about everyone else on the list, there's a level of like, his content is let me invite through 21 Savage and show him all the memes of everyone thinking that him and Drake are gay. And it's like, this isn't like, what is this? Like, this isn't like our, what? Like when you have people on the list that are like truly interviewing people, like everyone else on the list from Nardwuar to like Joe Budden at least will interview or talk about the culture in a type of way where it's like they're conversating about it, but you're just having people on your show. And like he does random stuff, bro. Like we'll invite through a rock band and pretend to be Kiss for like 30 minutes. Like he'll stream 24 hours and like have videos of him like getting hand jobs like live on Twitch. And it's like,
what?
Yes. Like
it's disturbing, B.
It's terrible. To me, I'm like sitting here being like, this cool. Like if you're talking about most influential, like he has a huge following and I understand it. I get it. Cool. If you want to talk about influential black streamers, black creators, cool. That's a whole different concept. But when you're talking about hip hop influencers or people who are influencing hip hop, he just like hangs out with rappers.
I never even heard of this dude before.
On these lists, so they have, you know, they have a quick list of like featured on this, known for this, and his known for it says high energy content, ridiculous skits. They also have most memorable moments. Kai FaceTimes Drake, Kai and Lil Baby, Kai and G Herbo pregnancy simulator.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
pregnancy simulator.
He put G Herbo on the pregnancy simulator. What is that? To me, it's like, why are we talking about this man should not be on the same list as like Big
Elliot
Boy.
Wilson.
Elliot Wilson.
But think about some of the names like, yeah, Elliot Wilson.
Did real interviews with Big, no made up ish, you know.
Think about, you know, whether you like watch all their stuff or not, but just like, even just like legacy people, even
Angie Martinez.
Yeah, Angie Martinez. Like, I'm not a huge Funk Flex fan, but like, it's been here.
Right.
And he still matters.
Yeah. Like Ebro, Rosenberg, like that was the other thing I was going to bring up, which is how, and respect to Nardwuar, because anyone who does that much research on questions, as an interviewer, I'm going to respect. Sure. But like Nardwuar is over Sway. Only
because Kanye said you don't have the answers. That's the only reason why. I'm surprised they didn't put a Kanye on the list. Honestly, it's complex, bro.
Truly.
I mean,
just for fun.
Also, Complex is out here putting their own people, their own interviewers on here.
While saying they're not.
Yes, while saying that they're not.
You noticed that too, right? You caught, okay, I'm on the one that caught that, okay.
It's Nadeska, and honestly, if we really want to talk about it, Joe Budden, Academics, Nadeska all had a show on Complex for like a year.
Right.
And then Nadeska kept working with Complex for a while after that. And then Jinx currently is a member of Complex. You have your own people on here, but they say that they don't want to put Speedy Mormon on there, even though Speedy Mormon is like, I'll give Jinx the work. Like, Jinx is a good interviewer. Jinx knows what he's doing. But like, I like Nadeska. Nadeska's great, but put Speedy Mormon on there.
Hey, but but we're not putting our own people, even though
You are.
we are.
I like Speedy. He's good. He's silly, but he's good.
I have an unpopular opinion about one person on this list. I've previewed this for Ado. DJ Vlad. And I want to start this off. I don't think Vlad is a good person. Don't trust Vlad. If you have current criminal charges or pressing criminal charges, don't do a Vlad TV interview. However, or if you're, Joe Budden or some of these other people who loved being on Vlad and didn't love being on Vlad afterwards, don't do a Vlad interview. But I'll also say this as a person who just does like long form interviews and is always like, how can I get people to watch long form interviews and like actually do the conversation? I respect the craft and how he does that. And he has certain people on, like, I think it's interesting. We have certain people, like, it's really people of a certain age. So he can have like a Chuck D on and you get a good product. He has a Smokey Robinson on. You're not going to get some controversial Smokey Robinson incriminates himself.
Right.
He had Roland Martin on, and not just had Roland Martin on, but had Roland Martin on being interviewed by Sean Perez, not Vlad. I don't know if Vlad was in the room or not, but it's like, okay, it's not just clear cut. That said, if people are like, Vlad is the feds, probably.
I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot.
I don't want to discount that. I just want to say, as an interviewer, because, once you start saying anything nice about Vlad, people have reactions.
I will say, like, looking at the list, Vlad makes sense because he's actually like, he interviews hip hop artists. He like the thing is, like, Vlad has been around long enough to the point that like people I'm like close to and like younger artists are hopping on Vlad. Like Vlad has that point where it's like people are still going to Vlad to be interviewed. Like underground artists go to Vlad to be interviewed. And like he has research on them. He asks them real in-depth questions. Do I watch Vlad? No. Do I think Vlad is helping people out? No. Vlad is trying to put people in prison. But I think it does make sense why he's on the list. Like, I get why he's on the list. I don't like him, but I know why he's there.
Yeah. I look at, like, again, is Vlad the feds?
Probably.
Maybe, probably. Like, I got nothing on that. It's the same way if you do an interview with Good Morning America and you talk with George Stephanopoulos. It's the same thing to me.
Anyway. The feds, bro. Talking to the government.
Wow.
I'm curious. Let's go around the room. Number 5, got Nori, Drink Champs, obviously.
I respect that.
How do people feel about Nori in here? I'm curious.
I love Nori the rapper. I feel like Nori as an interviewer, I feel like he has some good conversations. I feel like he is at a point where he has a lot more influence than he acts like he has.
Yeah.
And he has to be careful with that.
Do you think he's conscious of it or not?
He is. And I think it's not necessarily fair because people I used to have 800 followers on Twitter and I could say whatever I wanted. It was great. I have 20,000 now. I can't do that anymore. It has a different impact on like the actual world. And so I feel like Nori, like even with recently he was asking, should he have, who was he saying he wanted to have on there?
Oh, did you see the Tucker Carlson post?
No, I didn't see Tucker Carlson post. I don't even want to see Tucker Carlson post.
Okay. New information.
Okay.
Just
going on screen.
he post a picture of him and Tucker Carlson talking, and the caption is something like, wondering why they try and cancel me and not you.
Is it Tucker's post saying this?
No, that's Nori.
He's saying they didn't cancel Tucker, but they want to cancel him?
Yeah.
He's not wrong about that. I wouldn't take a picture with Tucker Carlson.
Facts.
Just but I get like again, you're talking about a media platform, and all these people, they're under the gun to create and to sell.
Right.
They can't just make interviews and put them out in the ether like that. They're not like us. They can't just do like honest media and put it out there and people love it. They love it. They don't. But people watch it, but it has to be sensationalized. They need to be sensational every week. They need clips every week. They need a Twitter arguments about them. Like they literally are monetizing people's hate for them.
Truly.
And Nori's extremely likable. So he has to do things like a Joe Rogan style to make people talk about him. And Joe Rogan was like the kind of guy that was like a pretty likable for a long time. And then he got on, started just saying all this stuff, and everyone's like, why are you doing all this? Because for attention, it sells. Controversy sells. And like I said earlier, nothing sells like racial controversy. So if you have, he was, I can't remember who he was talking about having on his show the other week. He was like, should I have somebody? Everybody's like, dude, that dude is a full on like low-key Nazi. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's just like, okay, I was asking a question. No, you weren't. You were just driving interaction. Because negative attention and attention sell exactly the same.
Facts.
If negative attention isn't to sell better.
Mm.
I feel like he definitely plays aloof to that as part of like the character, but especially at this point in the game,
that man is 50 years old. He's not aloof.
Yeah. After you've done 3 interviews with Kanye West that have all progressively somehow gotten more problematic, you don't take that picture with Tucker Carlson and make that post without knowing exactly what you're doing.
No, they know what they're doing. And that's an effect in my opinion. The most negative effect of having white gatekeepers in hip hop that run our platforms, that fund our platforms, that distribute our platforms, is that it drives black men in the culture who have traditionally run the culture to flirt with fascism and to really like lean into misogyny, which has always been an issue in hip hop, but as it's being addressed now as the issue it is,
right,
they are being rewarded for leaning back into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see stuff like Nori or Joe Budden or whoever like flirting with like interviewing Donald Trump or Adam Tutu while he's in a controversy, that's because that's what they've been shown works. That's the blueprint they've been given by the overseers who have really mastered creating discourse around the culture, even if that discourse is completely toxic and destructive. Has nothing to do with the music that we make at all whatsoever, but it definitely allows that path to happen. And that's a big reason why a lot of people are saying, we need more women in the hip hop, influence a sphere. And we have them all here with us right now. But you know what I'm saying? But like, that's like a real thing. Like, they're not there because these white guys don't actually want to hear that. And they're telling our people that's not what anybody wants to hear. They want to hear this. See how this sells? Go do that. That's why you have Gilly and Wallow out there, especially Gilly, just being who he is. That's why you have that Charleston white guy running around the country doing tours and calling it comedy. You know what I mean? But he's really just talking to about rappers and trying to beef with rappers that don't even know him. You know what I'm saying? So it's that kind of drama to me.
Yeah. There's Ado's the younger of the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Do you watch Drink Champs at all?
Yes, I do. A little bit here and there, but yeah.
One thing I think that's kind of taking it like a more, Max was giving us bars here, now I take it to like semi-positive, praiseworthy part of it. But the like, at least theoretically, conceptually interesting part with Drink Champs is like the show itself, get fucked up and tell stories. It's not a new format, but like the idea of like Nori really leaning into, I want to give artists their flowers while they're alive. Like I actually love that aspect of it.
I love that. Yes.
I love the stories. Like random, like my favorite Drink Champs clip is just Trick Daddy talking about ass eating and be like, it depends. It is. I laugh every time.
That was not what I was expecting to hear from you today, Bruce. That is not what I was expecting Bruce. To get from you.
Look, it is. I remember Trick Daddy
media.
In the
truly
remember Trick Daddy late 90s, 2000s, to come to a moment in 2022 or 2021 where he's just on the camera talking about ass eating. You know what? We have evolved.
That shouldn't surprise you from Trick, though. I mean, I was probably the biggest Trick Daddy fan in Portland in the early 2000s. Like, I literally had all of his albums. I listened. I knew
quite the distinction.
Bro, that's such a statement.
In Portland, bro, people were like, "Who? I'm like Trick Daddy. You don't listen to Trick Daddy and CeeLo? Come on now." Even before the CeeLo connection,
in
like,
Portland, no.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was like Trick and Trina on my playlist. I listened to the whole album front to back, like constantly in my house. I was also like 21, so you know, it's what it was.
Right.
So I'm not surprised by any of that. He's, you know, totally one of them Florida boys. You know, he's straight off the, you know, off the backs of Luke and all that. But still, to say it on the radio or on the YouTube, which is basically TV now.
Yeah,
it does feel wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, again, just like giving. I mean, that's just, you know, great clips, but also again, you having these artists, especially artists who, you know, like we're trying to make hip hop artists specifically, Black people more specifically, that much more disposable and just like socialized conditions. So having a show where, again, giving people their flowers, like, and just being very explicit about it to the point where it's, you know, it's sticked. It's like, make some noise every time. It's just every 3 minutes. Yes. But also that is somewhat like, that is different from just let's either incriminate this person on or get this person to incriminate themselves on camera, or let's just tear this person down.
Listen, the criminalization and destruction of Black men will always sell, and there's no field more furtive than hip hop. So it's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's always going to sell. It's always going to sell. Look at Jonathan Majors. How did that spread like wildfire in 24 hours? That man is still ruined. And supposedly nothing even happened. We'll never know. But look how that worked out.
That's always how it goes. We'll never know.
He ain't even cute no more. Ask him. They'll tell you. He ain't cute no more. He ugly now. He look like me now.
Mac, don't do yourself like that. Do not do yourself like that, sir.
Ada, what? Is there something else that stood out to you on this?
Give me 1 second. Let me hop back on. I will say, I don't want to push. I want to say this very carefully because I do not mind Carisha Please. I think it has, this isn't me saying it doesn't have its space. I think I am just, as someone who obviously, yes, is in the new era of hip hop. I also believe in letting people cook a little bit, letting people like take their time to like actually like affect stuff. And Carisha Please is a very new show. So like, I think like, having her at 7, like maybe isn't the best place to have her at. Like 20 in the 20s, maybe like a 19, we can talk. Cause I don't think she's non-influential. Like she has a space. Carisha Please has a space, but I don't think number 7, like there are people who are like a good portion of the list pre her deserves to be higher, in my opinion. And then, I'm trying to see. I'm mainly just upset about like you don't put like Big Boy and Funkmaster Flex like as high as that. Big Boy at 18 is crazy.
That's the thing. What about geography though? Like, if you look on this as far as like how much of this is even like Sway, like obviously Sway's the Bay, but that show is based in New York. Everyone comes to New York because whenever you have like a press run, it's walking through the same studio or the same building to different studios.
Right.
But like how many West Coast people are? It's like you got Big Boy, you got I mean Nardwuar is Canada, but it is the West Coast. It's like what, BC, right? So Nardwuar, Big Boy.
I don't know who Math Hoffa is, to be honest.
Math Hoffa is East Coast. He's famous. So battle rapper. I think before the show was most known for punching someone in the face during a battle. I remember that.
Battle rap is that weird part of the culture that I've never really listened to anyone trying that influences on it because it just feels weird to me. I feel like it should be like Mook or something. Then I don't know. Like them dudes matter. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I've watched some.
Is
like
battling even hip hop or is that just a white culture?
Yo, just saying. You were just saying stuff right now.
Just asking a question.
Wait.
Yo, wait, repeat that question real quick.
Saying, is
Max trying to get on the list. Let's go.
is battling really even hip hop culture anymore, or is that just white people stuff?
Like, when you say battling, do you mean like in general? Or do you mean specifically like
Not
acapella battles?
Yeah, acapella battles, like going to a place and being like, "Yo, Bruce, I'm gonna take your glasses off and spruce them up. You don't really want no problems with me, you young pup." Like that's some corny stuff. Like who's doing that?
Max Smith, everyone. Max
You
Smith.
know what I'm saying? And yes, that was a freestyle. But I'm just saying, like for real, like
you didn't have any gun bars. It wasn't real.
oh yeah, I got to pop at the
No,
sky.
it
you know
has
what I'm saying?
There we go.
If
Yeah, you know what I
you
mean?
cannot go without like any battle rap I've seen. Anyways,
Like
come on.
all the like it's weird because like, I know tons of black battle rap fans and they're all under the age of 25, right? But like, who's pushing this culture, bro? Like where you yell at other men and stand in their face and act like you're gonna fight, but you never do, and like you touch their baseball cap and turn it around or something and be like, yeah, like who's really pushing this, bro? Like, and why do people find it?
I can't tell you.
And they clearly wrote these lines.
Bro,
I
dude,
know
that's
people
the
who
I mean,
thing.
but here's the thing. They do say that. Like they're
I
not.
know.
They don't
coming in
pretend.
with
They don't
papers.
pretend like
I
it's
know.
pre-written.
So basically what
Or
we're
that's
doing
not
is we're
pre-written.
playing the dozens.
Yep.
With no beat in front of a musty crowd. It's always musty. It always looks like it smells like onions in there.
Ilmac, if you're watching, we love you.
I love Ilmac. He's a white guy and I love him. And he killed it. And now you have all these guys with ridiculous rap names. They all have like a variation of murder in them. And they just want to they just want to scream at each other and be like, "Yo, you so ugly, dog. Ooh. Yeah." And it's like, hold on. And the crowd's like, yeah, like, hold on. And they repeat themselves like 16 times, right? It's like, what are we doing? What are we really? I don't understand what part of hip hop that is. I grew up in hip hop. I grew up in New York City. I listened to hip hop my whole life. I don't know what this is. I don't know where it came from. I know where it came from. I don't understand how it got to where it is. Cause like when I was like young, we'd be at house parties. Somebody would put a hot beat on. Somebody would start rapping on it. They would diss somebody else. And before you know it, someone's switching the beats out and we're dissing each other over the beats. But you had to hop on a beat, bro. You don't get to spend 6 weeks researching my life. I heard your mom's name Brenda. She been on a long bender. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like,
not the Brenda Bender.
I'm just
Mac,
saying.
you're dropping dimes. Whoa.
I'm just saying.
You're going to have to make people pay for this one.
What is this culture? Because it's not one I recognize. It's just not. And I grew up in Portland where there's plenty of battle rappers that have gone international. And they go to Germany to battle rap other people, which to tell you straight up, it's not hip hop culture. If you're gonna go to Germany to do it,
why you got motherfuckers going to Germany? Yo, no, I agree. I feel like for all the innovations in hip hop, like everything that has been happening, the fact that we just have acapella folk yelling at each other doing bro, and they be saying some crazy stuff.
Bro,
like,
they still calling each other like R words.
Yes. They're threatening to. I watched one where
Making
it was
fun
like
of Asian people's eyes.
I saw some shit where it was like someone was making fun of the fact that someone's daughter had died the week before.
Bro.
And I'm like, what is this?
It's not even a game anymore. Like, I'll shoot you in the parking lot. What are we talking about? And they're like, yeah, they just had crazy. They just had wild. You know, they held themselves back. It's like, bro,
it's evil.
I don't know what part of the culture it is where you let somebody talk about your dead kid, bro.
Right.
Because hip hop culture, you get shot. You make a song about somebody's dead kid, you gonna get shot, bro.
That's warfare.
You better move to Canada like Drake do. And hide somewhere else where you can't get shot at. Like, let's just be honest. Like, that's not gonna happen. But I guess that's what happens when the rappers are like from like, you know, Gresham, Oregon, and
try to talk gang,
right? And they're from, you know, they're from Marysville, California. You know, like yeah, I'm the hardest dude out. Like, you're the only black dude in that county. So yeah, you're tough, and your voice sounds like this. So I guess you're just made for battle rapping because you can't stay on a beat.
Oh man,
that's the other thing. All these battle rappers cannot rap on a beat.
Bro, name a hot song by a battle rapper that's not immaculate, bro. Like, it's pretty tough.
Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill.
Well, Meek Mill's definitely graduated from being a battle rapper.
Okay, bet.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yes, he used to do it too, and we used to make fun of him.
He used to do it, and he lost in a battle to Drake.
Did he really?
Yes, he. Yeah.
In an acapella battle?
Yo,
no. Songs.
Oh, yeah.
Like that did happen at that point.
Mac, you almost opened the door there. I thought you were just being like, did he really lose? And I was
no. He definitely got back to back. We all saw that. We all saw that.
I do want to be respectful. We've shot like a whole like ESPN show today, and I know you're short on time, so. Yeah, just ending it by being like, now let me talk about battle rap was genius. So thank you for that.
It just is on my mind.
Yeah.
Like the NAACP.
Before I let you go, because I just want to know, what's happening with WOM? There's a thesis show tonight.
There is.
And yeah, have you got anything to plug before you head out?
I mean, I would just say, We Out Here magazine is going through a lot right now when it comes to transformation. We now have offices, which is really dope, like dope offices, which is really amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a podcast coming out of there soon. I'm definitely trying to really move away, as you may have noticed by the non-activity on the blog. I'm really moving away from the magazine itself, and really just plugging into culture in different ways, as everyone that is plugged in already knows. But look for more shows in more places. Look for more content being created, and look for more music coming out of the camp that we're working on building. So I would definitely say keep your eyes peeled. You don't need to go to the website unless you really want to, but follow us on social media as you have been, and
go to the website anyway, people.
Yeah, you never know what I throw up on there. It'd be some wild stuff.
We're not going to do any negative promotion. Click all the things.
That I'm not doing. I'm not trying to get shot, because I don't know if y'all know, but in Portland, I don't know about Chicago or New York or anywhere else, but in Portland, 51% of the people murdered are Black men. So I'm trying to keep my numbers down.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. Max Smith, thank you. Thank you again. We have, the numbers, first take. Numbers, first things first. Numbers.
Need a name for this, Bruce. We need a name for this.
Sure. It's coming.
The most dangerous.
Oh, that's right. Misery Loves Company, working title. At least until the Blazers get good, then we got to figure something else out.
A shout out to Shaden, a shout out to Dame, and shout out to my guy Nurk, even though he takes all the slander.
Yeah. Right. Yusuf Nurkic, if you're watching, don't. The fan base is horrible. Just keep doing your thing, and I'm glad you got paid.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a wrap.